In this video, we want to learn how we can use Sandwich Theorem or Squeeze Theorem for finding limit of sequences. The first example here is sin n over n, which is a very famous example for Sandwich Theorem or Squeeze Theorem. First of all, note that we cannot find this limit without using Sandwich Theorem or Squeeze Theorem. If we want to find limit of this sequence directly, like other examples, by finding limit of sine of n over n as n approaches infinity. The problem that here we have is that denominator is n and n approaches infinity, so the denominator approaches infinity. But for numerator, we have sine of n and n approaches infinity. What is sine at infinity? Sine of n when n approaches infinity is like sine of infinity. But we know that if you look at the graph of sine, it oscillates up and down and it doesn't approach any value. So sine of infinity does not exist. That's the reason we think to using a squeeze theorem or a sandwich theorem. And why sandwich theorem or squeeze theorem is a good idea to use for these type of limits? Because sine and cosine functions are two bounded functions. Attention, we know that graph of sine of x and cosine of x oscillate between -1 and 1. If you remember graph of sine or cosine, this is graph of sine of x. As you can see, its maximum is 1, its minimum is -1. So sine and cosine, both of these functions are oscillating between -1 and 1. And this is exactly the thing that we need for using a squeeze theorem or sandwich theorem. We need a bounded function. So for these type of questions, always we start from the trig part of the question. So we start from sine of n, and we say that we know that always sine is between -1 and 1. Then we try to make this expression in the middle, similar to the expression in the given sequence in this case. If you pay attention, the difference between this expression and this expression here is this n in the denominator. So to make this similar to this, what we have to do? We have to divide left side, middle side, and the right side by n, because we want to make this expression in the middle exactly like this expression that we have in the given sequence. So now we divide this expression, this inequality that here we have, we divide left, middle, and the right side by n. By dividing everything by n, we have -1 over n, sine n over n, and in the right side we have 1 over n. So first we started with sine, because we know that sine is a bounded function. The lower bound is -1, the upper bound is 1. Then we try to make this similar to this expression. To make it similar to that, we divided everything by n. Now we are here. Now look at the left side and the right side. These are easier expressions compared to this middle one. So now we try to find the limit of the left side and limit of the right side. What is limit of -1 over n? Limit of -1 over n approaches infinity is 0. And of course limit of 1 over n approaches infinity is also 0, because we have a number divided by infinity, a number divided by infinity, because n approaches infinity. And we know that limit of any number over infinity is 0. So now from squeeze theorem, so after we calculated limit of left side and limit of the right side, and now that we know that limit of the left side is 0, limit of the right side of 0, so definitely limit of the middle part, which is this expression that we were looking for the limit, should also be 0, because this is between the limit of the left side and the limit of the right side. Limit of the left is 0, limit of the right is also 0, so the limit of the middle part should also be 0. And we have to write this in this way. Now we say from squeeze theorem, we can conclude that limit of sine of n over n as n approaches infinity is also 0. So this sequence is a convergent sequence and it converges to 0. Now look at this example. The given sequence is 5 to the negative n cosine to the 2n. Again, as you can see, we have a trigonometric expression. But before we think to using a squeeze theorem or sandwich theorem, let's see why we need to use a squeeze theorem or sandwich theorem for this question. First of all, note that here we have 5 to the negative n. And when we have an exponential expression with power negative, it means what? It means that we can take this expression to the denominator and write it with a positive exponent. So it's a good idea, before doing anything, rewrite this sequence in the form of cosine to the 2n over 5 to the n. So first we move this to the denominator and we make the power positive before doing anything else. Now, as you can see, this is similar, not the same, but a little similar to the previous question. We have a trigonometric function in the top, and we have something in the expression, some expression in the bottom, in the denominator, that approaches infinity. So by direct substitution, by direct calculating the limit, we cannot find this limit. And the reason for that is this cosine, because at infinity cosine does not exist. So for that reason, we say cosine to the 2 is between, remember, sine and cosine are always between negative 1 and 1. They are bounded function. And it doesn't matter it is sine or cosine. And this expression here also doesn't matter. Is it cosine of n or cosine of 2n or cosine of radical n? It doesn't matter. Sine and cosine are always between negative 1, 1, 1. But here we have cosine to the 2. And because the cosine is raised to the power of 2, definitely it is greater than 0. So here, if you want, it's not really necessary. If you want, you can continue this. But it's better idea to put 0 here. Why? Because cosine to the 2 is always positive, is greater than equal 0. So instead of writing cosine to the 2 is between negative 1 and 1, it's better to write between 0 and 1. Is it wrong to write between negative 1 and 1? No, it's not wrong. And you can continue and you are going to get the answer. But this is better way. Now, similar to the previous question, we try to convert this to this. What is the difference between this expression and this expression? It's obvious that here we have 5 to the n in the denominator. For that reason, we divide left side, middle, and the right side by 5 to the n, because we want to have exactly this expression in the middle. So we divide everything by 5 to the n. So we have 0 divided by 5 to the n, cosine to the 2 over 5 to the n, and 1 over 5 to the n. 0 over 5 to the n is 0. Now we calculate the limit of the left side, the limit of the right side to see what are these limits. When n approaches infinity, limit of 0 over 5 to the n approaches infinity is 0 obviously, because this expression is always 0. What about the other limit? That one is also 0. Limit of 1 over 5 to the n approaches infinity is also 0. Because we have a number over 5 to the infinity, this is 0. Because denominator approaches infinity. So, from squeeze theorem, we conclude that limit of cosine to the 2 over 5 to the n approaches infinity is also 0. And attention, this expression is this expression. So the limit of the given sequence here is 0. And so the sequence is convergent and converges to 0. Now look at this example. 2n plus sine of 2n to the 2 divided by n plus 3. Again, similar to the previous questions, we start with trigonometric function sine. We know that sine is between -1 and 1. So sine of n to the 2 is always between -1 and 1. And don't make this mistake to think that this power is for sine and write 0 here. No. This power is for n, so sine of n to the 2 is only between -1 and 1, and you cannot claim that it is always greater than or equal 0. If the power was for sine, yes, it's between 0 and 1, but this power is for n, not for the trigonometric function. So we start with sine. We know that sine is between -1 and 1. Similar to the previous questions, our job is to make this in this form. First thing that we have to do, we have to add 2n to here, to the middle term, and to the right side. This is the first thing that we have to do. By adding 2n, we have in the left 2n minus 1. In the middle we have 2n plus sine of n to the 2. And in the right we have 2n plus 1. Now we divide everything by n plus 3. Then in the left we have this. In the middle we have 2n plus sine of n to the 2 over n plus 3. And in the right we have 2n plus 1 over n plus 3. Now, similar to the previous questions, we have to find limit of the left and limit of the right, because these are easier expressions compared to this middle expression. What is limit of 2n minus 1 over n plus 3 as n approaches infinity? You can find this limit in different ways. One method, which is very fast and very easy, is to keep the dominant terms in the numerator and the dominant term in the denominator. In this method, we look at the numerator and just we keep the term or the terms that are dominant. What is the dominant term? The dominant term is a term that is significantly bigger than the other term. In numerator, we have 2n and minus 1. Attention, n approaches infinity. So 2n is bigger term or -1. Of course, 2n is the term that is significant in numerator. And attention, when we have 2n, a term like -1 is nothing compared to this. So we can ignore it. What about the denominator? In denominator, n is significant. 2n over n is 2. So this limit is 2. Limit of the left side is 2. The other way, here I show you all the ways that is possible to find this limit. The other way is to remember a fact from limit at infinity for functions. If you remember, when we are finding limit of rational expressions, when the degree of numerator is the same as the degree of the denominator, the degree of the numerator is 1 because we have n to the 1 as the highest degree, and then the degree of the denominator is also 1. When the degree of numerator and the degree of denominator is the same, the limit is always the ratio of the coefficient of numerator over coefficient of the denominator. Coefficient of numerator is 2, coefficient of denominator for n is 1, so the limit is 2. This is another way for finding this limit. And as you can see, the answers are this. Another way for finding this limit is using L'Hopital rule. And to use L'Hopital rule, first it's good to write this in the form of 2x minus 1 over x plus 3. Change the name of the variable from n to x, then take derivative. It is wrong, completely wrong, to take derivative of n. And we know that in the sequence n is integer. You cannot take derivative of a variable when that variable is integer. This is completely wrong in mathematics. So write in terms of x, then take derivative. What is derivative of numerator? This is L'Hopital method, if you remember. Derivative of numerator is 2, derivative of the bottom, derivative of denominator is 1, so the limit is 2. So this is another way for finding limit of this sequence. And the other method that, if you remember, from finding limit of rational functions, for finding limits like this, is to divide numerator and denominator by highest degree of denominator. If you remember, from limit of functions at infinity, when we have rational expression, we divide numerator and denominator by highest degree of denominator. In the denominator we have n to the 1, so we divide everything by n. So we have 2n over n minus 1 over n over n over n plus 3 over n. Then we simplify. We have in numerator 2 minus 1 over n, 1 plus 3 over n. 2n over n is 2, n over n is 1. Now, attention, in this limit, n approaches infinity. When n approaches infinity, limit of these expressions is 0 because we have a number divided by infinity. 3 divided by infinity is 0. 1 over infinity is 0. So we have 2 in numerator, 1 in the denominator, so it equals 2. So I showed you several methods for finding limit of the left side. And in all those methods, the limit is 2. So the limit of this is 2. What about the limit of the other side? It is also 2 in a similar way. This limit is also 2. So from squeeze theorem, we conclude that limit of this expression 2n plus sine of n to the 2 over n plus 3 when n approaches infinity is also 2. So this sequence converges to 2, not 0. I hope by watching this video you have learned how to use a squeeze or sandwich theorem for finding limit of sequences.